Everybody, it has been maybe about 10 days since you guys have last saw me. Don't mind the way I look right now. No haircut, no nothing. Just been totally wolfed out and depressed and tired. Um, so as you guys know, we have blown. No, we haven't. We've blown a great majority of our accounts, but I'm here today to, catch everybody up and explain what's going on, how I'm looking to move forward, and why I feel like what happened. I get a few views on these videos, so for the people that do want an update, here it goes, and here's how I'm gonna continue to push forward. So as you guys know, had about 100 or 750k, which is about 50ks that I had. Majority of them are blown, and these are the remainders of what we have left of the 50ks. I think that's about 6 or 7. It's about 6 or 7 that we have left, but all of them are in substantial drawdown. So for the past week, what I've been doing is at market open, I will attempt a bottom tick or attempt a top tick, and we'll go about 20 contracts, 20 micros, hoping to bottom tick the market, and then closing out for like a $500 profit. So doing that, obviously it's not a real strategy, but the accounts were at such a low point, and they were so deep in drawdown that it didn't matter, right? I had about $150 left per account, so had about $150 left per account, and it makes no sense for me to risk $150. I go for 1-to-1, so it makes no sense for me to risk $150 for the next 40 trades to get back to break even. It's a waste of time, right? It's a genuine waste of time. So what I did, these 3 accounts, I have this one, have 1 trade left with that one. I have this one, which is at 48,000, and then I have this one, which is at 46,000 or 48,600. So all of these accounts, I have at least 1 trade left to be able to pull myself out of drawdown. Now, if that trade wins, then I'll continue risking that 500, and then we'll go from there. But as it is for the rest of these, as you guys can see, this account has $81 of drawdown left, and as you can imagine, that's very pointless to try to pull ourselves out of drawdown. So with what is happening right now, as I said before, we have money to deposit within our personal account. So what we did, we deposited $4,900 into here. Because of fees, it's only $4,900. So we have a personal account right here with $4,800 in it. We've taken a couple of trades. And yesterday or on Friday, I shouldn't have traded, but I did, and I ended up losing. So yeah, it's just, we'll get into that later. But either way, that's what we're going to do. And after these accounts are totally gone and done for, then we will move to Top Step. And we're not going to go big there. We're not going to go big anywhere, because obviously our brains can't handle us making $15,000 per trade. We obviously can't handle that. So we're going to scale down, scale back, pull everything back, and go for 1 account. We're going to go for 1 account, and we're going to prove to ourselves that we can trade, because I know we can. I know I can. It's just, you know what, let's just get to the next segment of the video. Why I wasn't able to perform. Now, as I said in the beginning, this was my first time trading with this much capital. So with that being said, I wasn't anticipating the type of mental stressors I would be under. Honestly, I thought it was going to be pretty easy. I thought it was going to be nothing changed, nothing new, until it wasn't. And then I started to see signs that my brain wasn't in the right mental headspace where I needed to be able to make the proper decisions. And I paid for it to the max. That's good right there. But I paid for it to the absolute maximum. And we're going to dive right into why everything happened. So initially what would happen was, obviously the first trade you guys saw, I would do very, very stupid mistakes. So that's number one. I was making the dumbest mistakes possible, bro. The dumbest mistakes possible. I remember first day I took a trade. We hit break even. I moved my stop loss to break even. Prices fidgeting with our BE. Hasn't hit it yet, and I decide to manually close because I don't want to see red in my account for the day. Even if it's negative $1 per account, I still didn't want to see that. Ended up missing out on like $1,000. That was like $1,000 per account. So that was like a $15,000 trade that I missed out on right then and there, very first day, the second I step into the markets, which obviously in turn threw me off for the rest of the week because I was like, damn, I should have had this bread. I shouldn't have did that. Let's not do that again. And then a couple of trades go by, and then I realize that I'm making little tweaks in my strategy. I put a take profit at a 1-to-1 where it's supposed to be, and then I would think the overall drawn liquidity would be maybe, a 1 hour swing low or 1 hour 1 hour sell side draw, instead of putting my target at the entry of a 15-minute gap, right? So I was just doing stuff like that, and it was like maybe the R multiple is like 2.7 R, maybe 3 R. And I haven't gone for a 3R since January last year. And I just started beating myself up because obviously target gets hit. I don't get taken out because I'm targeting a 3R. Stops her at break even though. Comes right back, break even, tags me out. And then continues to run overall. Or it would switch direction. Doesn't really matter. But I'll continue to beat myself up about me moving my take profit. Me going for insane risk multiples that I've never gone for this year at all. And it was stuff like that that drove me down. And I never really got the right risk settings that I wanted to. I wanted to risk $300 per trade, and then after I saw myself lose the first trade, I was like, well, I'm down 300. Maybe I should risk 150 to try to get back, just to protect these accounts because I paid so much for them. Which in turn isn't the worst idea in the world, lowering risk when you're not trading well. But it was the fact that it wasn't time for me to lower the risk. And then I did lower the risk, had a winning week, but it wasn't enough to pull myself out. And then I started risking $500 a trade, did that for 2 trades, and then took my risk all the way down to 150 again. It was just really bad. So didn't keep my risk consistent, wasn't following my plan. Just everything just went to absolute dirt. And the fact that in the process of gaining these accounts, I was trading every single day. And I was trading every single day, taking pretty decent setups. It's just the market was cooperating in December, as a lot of you guys know. Taking pretty decent setups, and I anticipated the same thing to happen for till Kingdom Come. And that's not something that is probable. That is very facetious of me to think that the markets are always going to be like that 24/7. And that's the same type of market mentality that I brought coming into January, right? And obviously, I was trading every day in January. I would see a setup. I'd be like, okay, this doesn't look beautiful, but it's definitely something, but it's not pretty. And then I would take the trade on all of my accounts. And then obviously I would proceed to blues. So, which is something I haven't done before either. So everything that I did to ruin myself in this challenge was all on me, and none of it had to do with my strategy or any of that, because when I get on smaller capital accounts, when I'm trading with less capital, I trade well. As you guys saw in December, when it didn't matter whether or not I was winning or losing, I was trading perfect. Yes, the markets were cooperating, but there were plenty setups that I faded and plenty setups that I took. Like nothing. So, looking back on it now, guys, I earned my spot to be $1 million trader. I earned my spot for the challenges and all the obstacles that I've overcame, but mentally, I am not ready. Mentally, I am not there. mentally, I cannot do it. Mentally, I can't do it. But I know I can, and I know I will. So it's very difficult. But coming into the new month of February, we're definitely gonna start implementing our rules a lot heavier. As you guys know, probably Friday, I'm pretty sure the market dumped like 5,000 points in a day. I told myself I was waiting for a pullback into the 15-minute gap and then a retracement to continue for continuations back to the downside. And we tapped off of an hourly gap, and I ended up taking longs. That didn't work out. We ended up tapping into a 5, inversing a 1, and then continuing lower, which is what I was waiting for. But since I was so horny to get in a trade, I ended up taking an L for the day, which should have been a win, or should have just not have traded that day at all, which is fine. So what we're going to do coming into the new month is, number one, we're going to trade a lot less. And with us trading a lot less, it should in turn force us to take better setups. And number three, this is the biggest thing of all, something that I've noticed with, having these accounts and wanting to take a position every single day, is that the most important thing for me to do personally is to really and genuinely disconnect from the market and from the charts. Because I've been trading for 4 years, and as much as I love doing this, the love for the game is what's going to hurt me the most. And I feel like that's pretty profound, because usually the work you put in and how much time you spend on something results in what you get out. Everybody knows that's not how it works in this game. The more time I put in on these charts, the less I get out of it, and the more I lose, actually. So what we're going to try to do is genuinely just disconnect from these markets. And I mean this lightly when I say this, but we're going to try to genuinely lose our love for trading, which I feel like in turn will help us just do what's right and do what's necessary. Because my problem was, okay, I know this isn't the best setup in the world, but I just love clicking the button so much. I love trading. I love just being in the space that I'm going to take this trade. So put money behind it, not the best setup, you lose. So there's just a couple of things that we can switch. Like I said, I'm blessed enough to be in the position to be able to just move freely. I can make $3,000 mistakes. That's what this mistake cost me, was about $3,000. So I'm in a good enough position to where I can do this again whenever I'm ready. But first of all, we need to secure something, right? So what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to do those three things. And then number two, what we're going to do overall is we're going to work towards a payout from Top Step or Alpha Futures. Don't really know yet. Probably Top Step, just because it's cheaper, and there's no real reason to. There's no reason to pay like a $20 extra just so I can get a faster payout. Like, it doesn't make sense. It enables bad trading habits. It enables, me pulling out early. I need to really just focus on what works and continue to focus on the rules, continue to focus on everything. Focus on what I'm supposed to be focused on, which is myself. And I need to disconnect from trading. I know what I just said was two very different things, but that's what we're going to be doing moving forward after these Apex accounts are gone. So after all of these Apex accounts are blown, after they're all blown, or we get a payout from them, one of the two, whatever happens. Obviously, I'd rather have a payout, but after they're blown or we get a payout, we're then going to be moving to Top Step. So moving forward, my personal account is going to be what I'm mainly focused on. My personal account is going to be mainly what I'm focused on, and it is through MetaTrader 5. So we are doing the personal account through MT5. I think it's time. You guys let me know in the comments whether you want it to be, you know, the personal account build, or whether you want us to continue to try to work towards getting this funding. But I'm leaning more towards just doing this live tracking of the personal account, or just not doing anything at all. I think I might just do it at my leisure. Might just make update videos and not even worry about recording. I'll still record my trades just because it's very important that I record my trades, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel like when I'm doing YouTube and stuff, I get very involved in, not the outcome specifically, but I get very involved in, you know, how my videos look, the production, and what I say during a trade, more than worrying about the actual trade. So maybe, you know, we have a new type of video structure where we don't do any talking, we don't do any breakdowns, it's literally just straight trading. And I just really need to disconnect from the world right now, the world of trading, and just focus on myself, because as much as I want to create content for everybody and, you know, do things for social media, you know, and have a group and people that follow me and stuff like that, I come first, always. I have to come first, because you guys aren't going to put food on the table. You guys aren't going to put money in my pocket when I need it. So, yeah, I've taken a long break. This has been, you know, something I had to face for a while, something I had to look at, and I had to reevaluate and evaluate myself and, you know, figure out what's wrong. And after this 10-day break, you know, I genuinely feel like, I don't even feel like, I know what I was doing was wrong. And like I said, I've recorded all of my trades. I've watched every video. I've been through every video. So I know what I've done wrong, and it's very difficult for me to watch. It's very, very difficult for me to watch. My dad's calling, so I gotta go. But we're done, boys. We're done.